Hello there people, my name's Amanamaz and today, much like every Wednesday for the past 8 weeks or so, I have been watching the latest episode of What If. And this week was the season finale, so I'll be going over my thoughts of it as a series as a whole as well. Before I get started, please like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it if you did. For my quick thoughts, the series was good, it was fun, sometimes it did feel like it dragged or felt like filler, but I do suggest you watch it if you've got some free time. So the title of today's episode is that What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? Basically, he pulled his finger out of his ass and intervened. It starts off with the Watcher recruiting Captain Carter, Star-Lord T'Challa, Party Thor and Killmonger, who are at the end of their respective episodes, like T'Challa's fighting Ego from the second episode, and Thor is fighting Ultron bots from episode 7, but he doesn't notice the Watcher, so he physically gets picked up by him and screams like he does in Thor Ragnarok, which was hilarious. Though Captain Carter is basically at the start of the Winter Soldier, like the whole jumping out of the plane without the parachute. I do like the callbacks in this moment, as the Winter Soldier is probably the best MCU film, and the banter between Peggy and Widow played really well. The Watcher also recruits a variant of Gamora who killed Thanos from her universe. She did feel almost out of place and shoehorned in, as we didn't get an episode with her. Apparently her episode got cut and pushed back towards season 2 because of COVID pushing back production. But now what's the point, as we know what happens to her? Though it does seem interesting, as Iron Man was supposed to go to Sakaar and become a gladiator. Strange Supreme is also back, as we saw at the ending of the last episode. And the group is now christened as the Guardians of the Multiverse. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't have the same ring to it as Guardians of the Galaxy, it just feels like kind of forced. And they come up with a plan to battle Ultron by using an Infinity Crusher to destroy the stones. The Watcher then sends the team to an uninhabited universe to prepare for the battle. They have a drink and a toast is made. Killmonger is still hella suspicious throughout this episode, and I like how the writers make him use this moment to benefit himself when all this is done, but I'll get back to that later. But Thor accidentally draws Ultron's attention and tries to fight him by himself by shooting lightning at him. I do find it hilarious that his battle cry is now Viva Las Vegas. You can tell Chris Hemsworth had a lot of fun with this character. A battle then happens with T'Challa being able to steal the Soul Stone from Ultron, and the team escapes to Ultron's home universe. They escape by bringing the zombies in from episode 5 to delay Ultron, with Zombie Wonder doing most of it, but they're all destroyed. I do like that they're back, as that episode felt like the most isolated, or at least one of them. They are now joined by Natasha from the previous episode. Ultron continues to battle the Guardians and overpowers them, until Romanoff is able to unleash her inner Hawkeye and shoot Ultron with an arrow containing Zola's AI, with the help of Captain Carter. But what happened to Zola being in the other Ultron bot? Like, did he willingly go back into that arrow? I don't know, to be honest, nor do I care. Zola then manages to wipe Ultron from inside his head, kind of like what happened in Age of Ultron. But obviously in Age of Ultron it was Vision, not Zola. And surprise, surprise, Killmonger takes the stones for himself and attempts to convince the Guardians to fix their homeworld. Like, imagine my shock when that happened. It was predictable, but a good predictable. I like how it stayed true to his character and his motivations. Zola, now controlling Ultron's body, or is it technically Vision's body as now Ultron's armor is on Killmonger, fights Killmonger for control of the stones, but both are frozen in a pocket dimension by Strange Supreme and the Watcher. Strange Supreme then returns to his collapsed universe to guard Zola and Killmonger, while the Watcher returns each Guardian to their own universe. You do see a nice montage of what happens when they come back, like Peter Quill joining T'Challa and Thor going on his date. Everyone goes back except for Widow, as her universe is dead, or at least lifeless. So the Watcher brings her to the universe where the Avengers were assassinated in episode 3, so she can help restore peace to that Earth. And that's how the episode ends. I like how they connected it back to that episode and gave it more attention, as that episode was by far the weakest. And to be honest, that episode should have been cut. And like, not even pushed back, but cut entirely. The Thanos Gamora episode I think really needed that spot more, as it contributed more to the series as a whole. In the mid-credit scene, after returning to her universe and defeating the French guy from the Winter Soldier, Carter and her universe's Natasha discovers the Hydra Stomper armor, with someone contained inside, but it's heavily implied that it's Steve. If they carry on with Captain Carter, I do hope they continue this arc, as I'm now curious to see what happens. This episode as a whole was pretty good. I liked how it connected to all the episodes, and it was fun, full of action sequences and callbacks to other MCU movies. Though, like I said earlier, Thanos Gamora felt out of place and could have done more with fleshing out. and it continued on from the previous episode really well. And now as a series, it was fun and definitely enjoyable. Though in the middle, it does get very hit and miss. Like episode 3, 6, and 7 wasn't great, but 4 and 5 make up for it. The voice acting was really good. You could tell most of the actors had fun too, and it came across in their performance. What didn't hit me though until just now was that this was Chadwick Boseman's last performance as T'Challa, and I'm glad this was a fitting end for him in the MCU. Overall, if I had to give this series a rating, it would just be a 7 out of 10. While it was fun and enjoyable, and I did like a lot of the creative changes the show made, it did ultimately just feel like filler and didn't feel like it was must-watch TV. Like, if the show was longer, I wouldn't be doing weekly reviews on it anymore, but I do suggest you see it if you have the time. I hope you like my review and opinion of the series. I would appreciate it if you also left a like and subscribed, and I shall see you next time, and peace.